sure you've tried to remain strong plenty of times. So I'll give you some different advice. A trick for you when you think you're losing hold of yourself. Build a cocoon. Hello and welcome. It's been a while. I'm Ash Mannix, and this is the house in Fata Morgana. As these videos are going up on YouTube, there'll only be a week's gap, as there usually is between episodes. But I'd stacked up a couple of episodes before, so it's actually been like 3 weeks since I've last played this. So I've kind of forgotten what happened last time. I know we were going through the true story, and we'd seen the what really happened, how Giselle the maid and Mikael first met, and everything that happened with that. And then we were going to see the journey that Giselle had to go through after Mikael died. Mikael? So let's get back into this. I would just hide my face, and we'll go back into what is, yes, I was right, The Maid's Tale. And that was about how many days went for an incomprehensibly long time. 1099. Oh. Right, so from 1099 to 1200, wow. Like 101 years. For the first 100 years, I kept track of how much time had passed. An hour, a day, a month, a year, 10 years, 50. But once I had surpassed a person's average lifespan, the counting started driving me mad, and so I stopped. My sense of time began to numb. In place of sleep, I spent my days in a trance-like state. Doing so, I was less aware of the passage of time, which made it a little easier to bear. Suspended in this bubble of time, my mind went out to you. Another 100 years, wow. The next thing I lost, a sense of was myself. I lived as a human for 21 years. After spending nearly 10 times that trapped in the mansion, I began to feel like that was all I had ever been. That maybe my past was all a construction of my imagination. That as an otherworldly being, I merely fantasized about being human. Had I actually had a family? Had there actually been other people in the world? She never got to see her family. Did cities and villages really exist? Was there ever really a time when light shone through the windows? When we were happy? But I knew if I started doubting everything, I wouldn't be able to maintain myself. So I settled on believing one thing. That you, Mikael, were real. That you had been with me. That I had loved you. And that it was you I was waiting for. I tried always remember that one fact. My characteristic energy and cheer were disappearing. By then, I hardly ever raised my voice anymore. And in response to that change, the witch seemed to treat me a little nicer. On occasion, I thought I could sense her presence nearby, like she might reveal her form to me from beyond the darkness, instead of only speaking to me. I could feel her sitting beside me. Oh, the witch. I'm trying to remember what voice I gave her. Oh, I'm just gonna go for whatever comes to mind. Giselle, do you think you're still Giselle, even now? Don't know what the hell this voice is. I suppose it doesn't matter either way. Sometimes I think love and fanaticism are two sides of the same coin. What are you implying? Oh, nothing. I have an idea, though. Why don't we make you some new clothes, my dear? The loom should still work thanks to your keeping everything in order. That outfit's an artifact of an age long past by now. You know how long it's been? Vaguely, but yes. As we speak, time still marches onward. Not too quickly and not too slowly, but at the same pace as your breathing. Now, on your feet, Giselle. We have plenty of time, so let's make you the perfect maid's outfit. And if we don't have enough materials, we can make more thread from the sheets or curtains. How exciting! Following her instructions, I wove garments in a style that did not exist in my era. They were quite strange to behold. The old me might have been stricken with fascination by them, but at that point, I wasn't even sure how to rejoice, how to be impressed, or how to be moved any more. $1,500. Like what? It sounds like rain again. Are we making these noises? Doesn't matter where it is. As long as you're there, it can be anytime, anywhere. Where are you, Mikhail? What are you doing? I'm still praying. I'm still wishing for you to appear before me, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. I've been praying for so long, I don't even know how long it's been. Before you left, you said you were going to pray too. You said you hoped we could meet again in another life. I'm not misremembering, am I? Miguel, come back to me soon. I love you so very much. But my memories of you are starting to fade. What did your voice sound like? What kinds of faces did you make? Where did you like to put your hands on me? I don't want to forget. I want to always remember. My memories of you are the only thing holding me together, but they're slipping away from me. How did you speak? What kind of things did you talk about? I'm losing all these memories. Please, Mikhail, come back to me before I forget everything, my beloved master. The thought crossed my mind that maybe Morgana's guarantee that you'd be reconstructed was just a lie to trick me into staying here, but I quickly discarded it, because if she had been lying, it would strip all meaning from my very existence. It would take from me my purpose for being here, so I didn't want to accept that possibility. I had no choice but to persevere in my belief that you would return. I had always thought I would be all right, that my faith would never waver. I still believed in myself. But you can be the happiest, most optimistic, resolute person in the world, and you'll still break eventually. I was at the point where even the slightest tap would shatter me into fragments. It's almost 500 years. Several hundred years after I was enslaved within the mansion, something changed for the very first time. Sunlight, which I had not seen in all that time, shone in from outside. At first I did not believe it was real. I thought it was a hallucination born of my inner desires, and I thought I must have completely lost it for my fantasies to have escaped my mind. But it didn't matter if it was all an illusion. The gentle breeze blowing in through the window felt wonderful. The smell of grass, the chirping of birds, the glistening blue sky, it was like 1,000 memories rushing back all at once, and it brought tears to my eyes. "The time has come, Giselle. It's time for you to get to work." And as she always did, the witch's voice crushed my elation, dragging me back to reality. Reveling in the sight of the outside was the last thing I should have been doing, for it was that moment that began my true decline. Work? What kind of work? Have you already forgotten? Oh, good heavens! Do you have your head on straight, my dear? As I said, I need you to watch over the house and show your utmost hospitality to those who show up. Is someone... This is merely an appetizer. It looks like someone's here. Hold on, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. Do the same thing that you've been doing. Be a maid. Convince the house's guests that this is a wonderful place. Make them enjoy their stay. Now go on. I'm quite looking forward to this. The bar has been removed, but will the door open? For so long the door had refused to budge. For so long light had forsaken these small halls. For so long there had been no trace of life, and now all of that had been turned on its head. I felt like I had stepped into heaven on earth. I know it sounds melodramatic, so please don't laugh. It was almost certainly a perfectly ordinary slice of nature. Leaves and grass rustled in the wind, flowers specked the earth, and in the distance was a city I didn't recognise. I wondered where I was, of course, but I neither shouted nor jumped in surprise. Instead, I found myself accepting of my circumstances, as unnatural as they may have been. As I was standing there idly before the entrance, a carriage rolled up. Egad, could this road be any bloody worse? It's in dire need of paving on top of everything else. And who might you be, young lady? That outfit. He's speaking a different language. The middle-aged man approached me. From his attire and the way he held himself, he appeared to be upper class. However, the words coming out of his mouth were not in the language I had grown up speaking. Could the mansion have moved somewhere far, far away? Naturally, I had no idea how such a thing was possible. And the longer I stood there staring at him absent-mindedly, the more incredulous he became. My immediate mission was to overcome the language barrier. Fortunately, I suppose, I was able to understand bits and pieces of what he had said. As merchants in the capital, my family did business with people from other countries, and as a result, I had learned a handful of words. The problem was, it had been so long ago, I had no confidence whatsoever in my ability to hold a conversation. I am a servant. Servant? Can't say I remember asking for a lady servant. But I suppose these things do happen. Does it matter much who they sent? Who are you? You weren't informed? Bloody hell! Off to a great start, I see. Well, what can you do, I guess? Name's Hayden Rhodes. Just a retired old man. Hayden Rhodes. As I am sure you have already guessed, this man was the Rhodes siblings' grandfather. Oh, this is for the two siblings from the first story. He was also the first person I served under as the maid. For a member of an esteemed noble family, Hayden was a bit on the eccentric side. Oh, this music. He only hired a handful of servants, claiming he was not fond of clamour. There was a single chef, a physician, a servant to take care of all the cleaning, and then me, who served as his personal assistant. Whenever he got the chance, Hayden would chase me down and make me practice proper etiquette. According to him, I had much to learn. You are at least technically a servant of the Rhodes family, young lady, so I can't have you going around playing the country bumpkin act. Yes, sir. And we'll have to do something about that accent too while we're at it. I have an accent? Thicker than bloody Wallace's. Now, I have no interest in sticking my nose in your business, asking where you hail from. But while you're here, you must act the part, young lady. Lucky for you, I'm retired and have all the time in the world. I'll teach you everything you need to know about proper etiquette. All right. Speak up, will ya? Yes, sir. This guy doesn't seem to have proper etiquette. Hayden did not go easy on me either. In addition to my day-to-day duties, I studied etiquette, the language, proper pronunciation, and formal diction. Anytime I made the slightest mistake, he would shout his dissatisfaction. Listen carefully. A servant is the face of a house. A servant's gaff is her master's gaff. Always keep this in mind. You're not just a maid. You must always act with elegance and grace. You must always maintain your composure, even if the house is falling down around you. Whatever happens, you deal with it quickly and quietly. Your language must be immaculate. No ums, ers, or pauses. For any reason. Yes, sir. No stammering either. Sorry. Bloody hell, you are not going to make this easy, are you? Whose idea was it that a country bumpkin would make a good servant? I'd like to give him a piece of my mind. I'm not from the country. Not even slightly. I was raised in the capital. Is that so, eh? A prim and proper city girl, are ya? In that case, you should be a quick study. Absolutely. I can learn anything in a week, tops. Piece of cake. Is that so? Alright then, starting tomorrow, I'm tripling your lessons. You've put yourself in it. I didn't think this through. No, you didn't. In addition to being my master, Hayden was my teacher. When he yelled, he grew twice his size and I shrunk to half mine. But it wasn't at all an unpleasant experience, because I knew he wasn't raising his voice to belittle me. His instructions may have been harsh, but it was human interaction. There were people around that I could talk to, and that was wonderful. I was starting to regain some of my humanity. Unlike me, you've still got a life long ahead of you, young lady. Fun, yeah. I don't know what kind of life you've lived, but I can't imagine it's been all that easy. Not many servant girls your age without a home to go back to. Which is why you need to learn this. Once you've got all the rules and customs down, you'll be able to hold your own at any noble's estate. You shouldn't have any trouble keeping yourself employed. I'm sure you think I'm just a loud, obnoxious old man, but I believe we met for a reason, so I hope you'll stick with me. I, don't think about you like that at all, Master. You're a remarkable man. One more time. I deeply appreciate your generous consideration, Master, from the bottom of my heart. Aye. I didn't know much about Hayden's situation, why he'd retired to this mansion all alone, away from the rest of his family. But any time I asked about them, he would say, "It happens sometimes," with a melancholic frown. Before long, 2 years had passed. By that point, my etiquette had improved enough to satisfy his high standards. In that time, the mansion underwent a number of decor changes, as Hayden brought in sculptors to work on different areas of the house. He also sealed off rooms that were not in use, such as the observation tower and the chapel. It was a sad thing, seeing areas with so many memories for me falling into disuse. But as a mere servant, I had no say in the matter. In addition, Hayden seemed to greatly enjoy renovating the house, so I watched him in warmly. The furniture was all gradually replaced, gorgeous paintings hung on the walls, colourfully patterned curtains installed. And a brilliant rose garden planted. These roses come from all across the world. Oh, this is Hayden. These roses come from all across the world. Nowhere else can you see so many different varieties in one place. It's beautiful. Did you know that in the city, people are starting to call the mansion Rose Manor? Rose Manor? And to think there used to be nothing but weeds here. Amazing how much it has changed. I never thought I'd see this garden turned into something so beautiful. Are you fond of roses, young lady? Yes, red ones especially. Red roses mean a great deal to me. They remind me of a time long past. Given one as a gift, were you? No, I believe I was the one who gave the rose. Yeah. So red roses are a symbol of my feelings. They're very precious to me. I gave you a rose as a gift. You plucked it from its stem and placed it in my hair. Am I remembering correctly? My memories are so vague now. I can't even remember the look on your face that day. There are some kids I'd like to give roses to myself. Who? My grandchildren. Oh my, you have grandchildren? Aye, though we haven't been in touch for some time. Last I saw them was 4 years ago, when my second grandchild was born. What was he going to say? Oh, he's going to say third. The sweetest girl in the world with lovely flaxen hair. She's going to be a real beauty when she grows up. Anyway, they're wonderful kids. And one day I want to hand this garden over to them. Each and every rose containing my hope that they'll lead comfortable, healthy lives, free of strife. I'm sure your wish will come to pass. Your grandchildren will have wonderful lives. Aye. If only they knew. The grief of not having you around still weighed heavily on my mind, but I was slowly approaching contentedness. Life with Hayden was slow and uneventful, peaceful and relaxing. I imagined my heart was seeking anything to alleviate its pain, and it found that in the beautifully remodelled mansion, the garden blooming wildly with roses, and my time with Hayden. I was even beginning to think this life was enough for me, that I'd be okay with this being the end, if it meant more of the tranquility I felt. I was, like a coward, considering giving up the fight. Please do forgive me for ever considering such a thing. Hayden seemed to be in high spirits that day. A gift had apparently arrived from his son, who lived far away. In it was a tea set, some leaves, and a small jar of sugar. Miss! How can I be of service, master? Bring me up a pot of this, would you? Be careful not to steep it for too long. You want to get it just right for the best flavour. As you wish, master. Oh dear. You seem quite pleased. Shh! Why would I be? A boy who shunned his old man for years sends him a paltry gift on a whim? I'm just entertaining his fancy. He's well chuffed that his son's given him a gift. Ah, yes. Your tea is ready, master. Ah, what a wonderful smell. Tea and roses are life's best damn spices. Now, let's see what that boy chose for me. If it's no good, I'll be sure to write him an angry letter. He looks so happy. He must really love his family. It's a little bitter. Shall I brew another pot? No, it's not your fault. Must be something in the leaves. Would you like to add some sugar then? There was a small jar of it with the tea set. Now, that's some bloody fine sugar he's procured. White as snow and sparkles in the light. He chose it just for you, master. Bloody hell, what demon possessed him? All right, give me 2 spoons then. Yes, master. Here you are. Ah, splendid. This is some exquisite tea. The sugar balances the bitterness of the leaves perfectly. I guess that boy does have some... Master? Oh shit. Master! The doctor! I need to find the doctor! Water! I'll get you some water right away. So please hang in there. Was it poisoned? Thanks to the quick treatment provided by his personal physician, Hayden survived, but he didn't make it out with much more than his life. He was permanently bedridden by the affair. Was it poisoned? Evidently, the sugar I had put in his tea had contained poison. Wow. Which had done irreparable damage to his nerves and muscles. Most of his body was completely immobile, except for his left arm. What, did his son try to kill him? Can I bring you something? Some water? I've had more than my fill of water. You don't need to wait on me hand and foot. Haha! That face says you need to distract yourself by working. Remember what I told you? A noble family's servants must always act with elegance and grace. You must always maintain your composure. But how can you expect me to remain composed? If I only examined the sugar more thoroughly. You never would have noticed, young lady. I examined the sugar and didn't see a bloody thing wrong with it. He was damn crafty, that's for sure. Why would he do this? His inheritance, I presume. Something must have come up, and he needed money quickly. That's no reason to poison your own father. Blood is nothing but an obstacle to ambition. Or maybe he just hated me. How could anyone possibly hate you? Perhaps that could be said of the me you know. But when you live as long as I have, you're bound to make an enemy or two. Mine just happened to be my son. I was planning to give him everything anyway. He didn't have to do this. It all would have been his. Master, killing me doesn't accomplish anything, but I guess it doesn't much matter. Say, could I ask you something, young lady? What can I do for you? I don't want it to get out that Hayden Rhodes was poisoned, so could you tell people that I passed away peacefully with a beautiful nurse tending to my every need. You're not dead yet. Please don't talk like that. You're scaring me. No stammering. But... I'm not saying it will happen immediately. But I am an old man, and one day you'll wake up and I'll be gone. This is about my own pride, not my son. The last thing I want is to go out with a black spot on my name. Tell me you'll do this, Giselle. He's never said my name before. As you wish. Thank you. You're a peculiar girl, you know. Sometimes you seem greener than the leaves in summer, and sometimes you seem like you've seen 12 kinds of hell. And every so often you seem not of this world. Your skin is pale, your hands as cold as ice. At one point I thought you might be Death himself. But I was wrong about that. You have too big a heart to be Death. You care too much. You must be carrying a very heavy cross on your back. What am I supposed to do? I don't want to lose you, Lord Hayden. I don't want to lose this life. You have someone, don't you, young lady? Someone you're dying to meet again. Yes, but I don't know anymore. I don't know how long I'm supposed to keep waiting. If something doesn't happen soon, I don't think I can hold myself together much longer. I was so close to breaking down, and if it was you who kept me on my feet. I'm sure you've tried to remain strong plenty of times, so I'll give you some different advice. A trick for you when you think you're losing hold of yourself. Build a cocoon. A cocoon? A sturdy shell to keep your weak inner self safe. This world has no interest in protecting you, only swallowing you whole. So you mustn't readily expose your true self. You build a cocoon and you play the role you need to play. That way, the real you will remain unharmed. It's not pleasant to hide yourself like that, but it's better than letting the world crush you. But a word of warning, if you spend too long in the cocoon, the real you is liable to disappear forever. You'll be swallowed up by your own protective shell. I hope you find whoever it is before it's too late. Now, I think I'll get some sleep. All this talking's worn me out. As you wish. Good night, Master. See you in the morning. Aye. See you in the morning, young lady. Next day, Hayden was dead. He had strangled himself with his left hand. I should have been more attentive. I should have recognized how much pain he was in, how much it crushed him to have been betrayed by his own family. I should have realized how he truly felt, how fragile he really was. I guess he was wearing a cocoon himself. I fell into a hopeless gloom. I could hardly believe that the quiet life I had finally attained had been shattered in the blink of an eye. Hayden's other servants quickly went their own ways, and I vividly remember the dirty looks they all gave me. Everyone who knew how he had died assumed I had done it. I had no reason to kill him, though. But they had more than enough to believe so, for I had indeed been the last person to see him alive, and I held firmly to the story he had asked me to tell. While I was unable to convince the other servants, His family was far more accepting of the story that he'd departed for the next world happily, though that did not make the truth any less heartbreaking, especially since I was the only one who knew it. Jeez. Why does this always have to happen? I was happy. I can never seem to keep hold of it for more than a flash. Despair always comes marching in to rip it away. What am I doing here? What kind of person were you, Mikhail? What kind of person was I? Oh, my dear, you look positively miserable. Why should you despair at the death of some strange old geezer? Morgana, was Hayden one of those whom you wish to be reconstructed? Ha! I have no interest in that wrinkled bag of bones. And if he was one of them, do you really think I would have let him go so peacefully? Peaceful? You call that peaceful? You call his misery peaceful? I most certainly do. And since you do not need to understand this, the pain of death lasts but an instant. The worst torture can only be inflicted upon the living. Setting two loved ones against one another, manipulating one into taking the other's life, and then forcing him to live that with that. The stage hasn't even been set yet, my dear. And you would have me play a part in that? Indeed. You agreed to accompany me. You are here to be my guide, and you're doing a wonderful job of it so far. I haven't done anything. Oh, but you killed that old man, did you not? Thanks to you, my wish is one step closer to fruition. What do you mean I killed Hayden? You mean to claim you didn't? Tell me, who was it that put the poisoned sugar in his tea? No, I didn't mean to. Your intentions are irrelevant. Everything moves along the path forged by my wish, and you shall continue to follow its will. You know what? I'm done feeling like this. I don't want anyone else to go through what Hayden did. And what are you going to do about it? I'm done listening to you. Without me, you have no influence over this world. Oh-ho! So, I'll die. I'll take my own life right here and now. I grabbed a nearby knife and held the tip against my breast. My hands were shaking, my heart pounding. My whole body was racked with terror, but I could have sworn I heard Morgana gasp. This was her one weakness, I thought. What are you thinking? Don't do this, Giselle. Don't be foolish. Put the knife down, right now. I'm done trusting anything you say. Giselle, put the knife down. I've missed you so very much, Mikhail. I've wanted nothing more than to see you again. But if my being Morgana's guide is going to cause other people's suffering, then I can't. It's all over, Morgana. Oh, wow. Huh? There's no blood. Not even pain. Why? Puffed. Absolutely brilliant. I told you not to be foolish, but you just wouldn't listen to me. Such a silly girl. Aha. I really am. I couldn't even die if I wanted to. Learning that absolutely crushed me. My backup plan, the one escape route I had thought available to me, had been ripped away. My spirit crumbled, and I felt myself sinking into a vast darkness. I began losing my grip on myself, which is when I recalled Hayden's advice. Build a cocoon. It was the only option I had left, my final chance at protecting myself, although ultimately I was unsuccessful in that endeavour, as you know. But by that point, my mind and spirit had all but been lost, eroded away by the years of solitude, the witch's whispers, the brief glimmer of happiness, and the eternal, boundless darkness it had left me in. It was in that moment that all light drained from my eyes, and it was in that moment that the maid was born. Oh, I cannot remember the voices I gave for these characters. Oh, dearest Mel, come over here. There are so many beautiful flowers. Now, Nellie, there's no need to run. You're going to fall, and you can't say I didn't warn you. Oh, wait. Hello, I've never seen you before. Are you the new maid? Good afternoon, Lady Nellie. That is correct. It's an honour to serve you. Oh ho! Oh, did you do all this? I did not. The garden was your grandfather, Lord Hayden's work. Wow! Is grandfather a wizard? Perhaps he was. I am sure he would be delighted to know you like it. Did grandfather like flowers? Yes, he loved them quite dearly. Wow, I love flowers too. I've never seen a garden with so many pretty flowers. Did you know this kind of flower is called a rose? Just like our name. Why, yes, they do sound alike. Wait, what was their surname? Rhodes? And like the flowers, you are also a very sweet little girl. Say, what's your favourite colour of rose? I like all colours. But you don't like any the most? That's too bad. My favourite is pink. Pink roses are so pretty. Indeed they are. Ah, geez, there you are, Nellie. Ah, there he is. Oh, my apologies. Please don't mind my sister. Oh, not at all. We were having the most wonderful time. That's good. I imagine we'll be seeing each other around, so it's a pleasure to... Dearest Mel, let's see what the inside's like. Mother says I have my very own room. Ah, slow down, Nellie. I beg your pardon. The inseparable siblings ran off toward the mansion, hand in hand. It was a heartwarming sight, but the next moment, when they stepped inside, I saw something else. The darkness enveloping the mansion seemed to flare up, the open door a gaping maw into its hungry bowels. The whole house looked as though it was cackling. It was, I presume, the witch Morgana's madness taking form, a manifestation of how she felt now that her centuries in the making wish was bearing fruit. Those two children were the ones Morgana had been waiting for. Had I still had my own willpower to fight left in me, I would have taken them by the hand and sent them somewhere far away. I would have done something before the house swallowed them up, but instead, I just gently lowered my eyes. Misfortune would surely sink its teeth into those two children before long. Pain and misery would befall them. I knew no good lay ahead for them, but my heart had all but frozen solid. I had my hands full taking care of myself, so I let Hayden's beloved grandchildren fall into the witch's hands. I was, for all intents and purposes, Morgana's marionette. Ah, at long last, it has arrived. The time I have been waiting so long for has arrived. Darling, devoted Giselle, I know not how to describe for you the fiery excitement burning within me. Ooh, I know. I can tell you my story. Tell you exactly what that mild-mannered little boy once did. You'll be open to listening now, won't you, my dear? And you'll surely understand that I am doing nothing wrong. Because you're my ally, my trusty servant. You and I, we live in the same world. We're as close as family. Are we not? Yes, as you say. So let us curse them, all of them. Let us inflict a pain worse than physical torture on them. Let us put their souls on the rack for all eternity. Curse them, make them suffer, curse them. Now listen carefully, Giselle. This is a tale of wicked men and my curse upon them. Oh, this witch is nasty. The witch spat her curses for some time, the bile overflowing from her words, the pure, unadulterated hatred brimming within, consumed me more than the horrifying things they described. She was brutally honest, each word a carefully sharpened blade of animosity. How much bitterness did you have to carry inside you to become like her? How long did you have to feel nothing but hatred to become like her? I felt like, if I let my guard down, I would be consumed by her enmity. I would become mine and I would grow to despise them myself. All the while I kept my mind on one single thing. That is, what was left of my mind, locked away inside a shell of my own creation. It was that solitary truth that allowed me to hold on to my human emotions, to continue believing. I'm always waiting. My love will never fade. When I was still my old self, I called them master. I would do anything for them. Miguel. That was their name. They were beautiful. They had pearly white hair and ruby eyes. They are going to come for me. Miguel. All I can remember about you is your name, your glassy white skin, your fiery red eyes and your snow-coloured hair. Nothing else. And that's why, when I saw her that night, dripping from the storm raging outside, I thought, you're finally here. Because I didn't remember enough to know any better. You already know who I speak of, don't you? The person who called upon Rose Manor that fated stormy night. The girl with the almost translucently pale skin. Chillingly white hair and eyes like jewels. Ah, what a beautiful girl. Her hair, her eyes, her porcelain skin. It all matches a person in my memories. She must be the one I've been waiting for. If she is. Is something the matter? No, I just thought I felt someone watching us. It's only your imagination, I'm sure. If not your imagination, then perhaps some unseen force was watching you. Unseen force? Are you familiar with how people refer to this mansion? Rose Manor. Yes, indeed. It is called Rose Manor because you can smell the sweet fragrance of the rose garden even at a great distance. But that is not what I meant. It is said that a witch resides within the house. A witch? I have not heard of any such stories. You probably wouldn't have. It was a very, very long time ago. Nothing you need to concern yourself with. You have a peculiar presence about you. Should I consider that a compliment? A peculiar presence, she says. Does she sense something in me, as I do her? This has to be her, then. Her name. I need to ask her name. It's getting late. You should get some rest. A room has already been set aside for you. But first, may I ask you one thing? Yes. I do not believe you have given me your name yet. My name? My name is... Oh, I can't believe I accidentally skipped that. Michelle. I knew it. We never got the girl with the white hair's name. This is why. Is she the reconstructed Mikkel? You are the one. What? You are the one I have been waiting for. I have endured so much in the anticipation of this moment, so that I could reunite with you. You came to this place to see me again, did you not? Held tight to those wonderful memories until you could make it back to me. I never gave up hope. I always believed, and I hope you praise me for that. And I ask you to please say my name. To please make me... I don't know anything about you. I'm sorry, you seem to be confusing me for someone we have never met before. You jest. You are Mikhail, are you not? Well, is it Michelle? Have I been pronouncing it wrong? Alright, I'm going to say Michelle from now on. That is my name, yes, but it's a fairly common name. Surely you're confusing me with... That cannot be. That white hair, white skin, those red eyes. And that name of the Archangel. Wait, Archangel... Michael? Everything about you is the same. How can you say that you are not Michelle? Please, Michelle, remember for me. Stay away from me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude. You would reject me? I'm so sorry. I honestly don't know you. Do you care nothing anymore for the time we spent together? We have not spent any time together. You would deny everything. I'm sorry. I see. I see. So you feel nothing for me anymore. You do not need to say anything. I understand. You are feeling a great deal of disgust toward me. No, or perhaps it is fear. Yes, you are always so kind. You would not easily allow yourself to succumb to hatred. I understand. Please forget everything I have said. Who are you? I am but a simple maid, nothing more. Jeez. Laughable, isn't it? I no longer recognize Michelle as anything more than a concept. Man or woman, elderly or infant, as long as they had white hair, red eyes, and the right name, they were you. I needed anything I could get. I was so desperate the thoughts never even crossed my mind that she was not you. What do you think, seeing me like this? That I'm helpless and hopeless? Listen to this, Morgana. Michelle is back. She's finally come for me. But she does not remember anything, it seems. Not me, not her past, nothing. She saw me and was afraid, in fact. Are you listening, Morgana?
Ah, darling, devoted Giselle. You poor, pitiful soul. That must have been quite harrowing. But don't worry, you still have me. Besides, this might not be your only chance. As long as you continue on, Michelle could appear before you again.
Do you think she'll remember me next time?
I can't say. That's up to Michelle. You do have another option, though. Forget Michelle yourself and seek out a new master. Someone who can be yours. Someone dedicated and faithful who needs you. Someone worthy of this mansion.
Someone who needs me?
That's right. Michelle didn't need you after all. It's all right, don't worry. You have plenty of time.
She was forced to see that, was it Mel fall in love with the girl with the white hair? Michelle. Holy moly. And then the kind of jealousy of the sister Nellie. Oh, this is bad. This is worse than I thought it was. I thought she was in that role or something, but to be the maid and to be forced to see, to watch as a person she loves is potentially taken by another, or even worse, because the white-haired girl always suffers a horrible fate. And she could only stand by the side and kind of support her as well. Yeah, this was how it ends. I think the girl with the white hair ran away, didn't she? Ran away from Mel. The sister got really jealous and everything just went to crap. So it also turned out that the girl with Michelle was Mel's sister, half-sister. What's this hissing? Hiss. It's raining again today. I kind of wonder what happened to him after he fled from the mansion. Although, I suppose it doesn't much matter to me. The witch is surely watching him. Such a dreadful storm. It sounds like someone crying. I was, at that point, completely out of my mind. Broken. My smiles, frowns and gasps had all been replaced with imitations. Shortly afterward, the flaxen-haired boy moved out of the house and went on to become a priest. The girl fell ill a few years later. Oh dear. Her disease eventually taking her life. What disease did she have? I can't remember. But the boy never once returned home. Wow. Yeah, the Rhodes family, that's what they were called. Sounds like Rose. The Rhodes family crumbled. I couldn't bring myself to grieve for them, or to reflect on Hayden's sorrowful end. I simply waited for time to begin moving once more. Oof. So we're going to the next point. And I think at this point, let me just save here. Go back. We can go to. Let's go back to the title. I think we'll leave it here for today. Wow. Just keeps on getting better, doesn't it? Jeez. Yeah, realizing I never really thought about when we realized she was a maid. I never really thought back to the stories that we'd gone through because I'd kind of assumed that they weren't. They're maybe kind of made up in a way, but they weren't. They were still true, as I think someone had commented in one of the previous videos. It's just. But then when you think about it, and if I never thought the white-haired girl might have been Michelle or well, I'll call her Michael, but Michelle. And so she's just watching all of this unfold. Oh man, this is a good visual novel though. And on that, I think we'll leave it here for today. This is the house in Fata Morgana. I am Ash Mannix, and I'll hopefully see you again next time. Bye bye.